Want to know more about the Gamo swarm? You've come to the right video. Subscribe and continue. Hello and welcome to Replica Tactical Canada. I'm your usual host, Jason. I usually start out with a brief history on the company behind the products I'm talking about, and today is no different. So that being said, Gamo Outdoor was founded in 1959 originally under the name El Gamo. They're based out of Barcelona, Spain, and have their own North American operations, Gamo USA, which is where this rifle was shipped from, and I'd like to thank Lawrence for working with us here at RTC. Gamo also has another airgun division under the BSA Guns marker out of Birmingham, England. Needless to say, they have a presence all over the world, and Gamo is one of the most recognized pellet gun manufacturer names out there. One thing I find about these Gamo rifles is that it's a tad confusing, is the fact that they all look very similar. Whisper Fusion, Gamo Swarm, Swarm Fusion, Whisper Maxim, Varmint, Wildcat, 1300, all look and function somewhat similarly. Some have the 10X system, some don't. Having said that, what we have here according to the box is the Gamo Swarm 1300. It's a 177 caliber IGT piston, multi-shot brake barrel. Red for 177 and the green is for 22. Red is for pesting, green is for small game hunting. Pretty simple and effective. The IGT piston in this thing is great innovation for brake barrels. They work well in the cold, which is awesome for us Canadians. There's a lot less twang and recoil, and it offers very consistent speeds. This version is decently quiet for a Canadian brake barrel rifle. Gamo has to remove any sound suppression that you would find on this rifle in the USA. When I pulled it out of the box and picked it up, at first the polymer synthetic stock wasn't all that impressive to me. My initial thought was I'd prefer this and say Gamo's bone collector version with the nice wood stock. However, there's a bit of bonus to having this synthetic polymer stock. I'm not concerned with wrecking its finish or leaning it against something or placing it on the ground outside. Does not faze me at all. The last rifle review I completed, the stock would scratch so easily. This does not. So, taking it with you through the woods on a squirrel hunt is no big deal. For some application, durability trumps style. It features an adjustable butt pad that is supposed to be recoil reducing, but really the type of recoil this IGT is not something that you would really need to worry about. But it's nice that they thought and invest in this luxury comfort. You can pull out the plugs at the pad and adjust the level of recoil reduction you're looking for. I left it as is. This rifle comes in at 5.7 pounds, which is pretty light due to the stock. This makes for easy carrying on long afternoon squirrel hunts. When I first got the rifle, I was looking at the box and it states a maximum velocity of 1,000 feet per second. In my testing, I was able to push past that point using Crosman PowerShot Fast Flight penetrators. I believe the fastest FPS was about 1,009, and that's at 5.4 grains. I'm going to tell you right now, speed is not everything with most airguns. Most airguns perform best at much lower than 1,000 feet per second. Best ammo for accuracy I found in all my testing of multiple weights and styles would be the H&N Field Target Trophy Power. It gave me the best grouping at 25 meters. I was unable to stretch out that distance much farther given my location and COVID-19 restrictions, but having said that, I've seen great groups at 50 meters by other great reviewers like Steve Scally. The greatest invention to brake barrels would be the 10X system. It's designed by Gamo. No more will I have to jam little pellets into a tiny little hole with my big fat fingers. That's one thing that has bothered me since my first brake barrel. This magazine takes the fumble out of airgunning. Loading the magazine takes less effort and it is very smooth action with the fingers. It's actually harder to pick the pellets out of the tin than it is to load them into the magazine. The 10x quick shot technology has you firing without reloading, and the ability to purchase extra magazines help cut down on loading time at the range. The magazine also has an ammo indicator to let you know how many shots you have left. If you're not paying attention like I wasn't a couple of times, you're going to get a really loud crack. It sounds as loud as a .22 long rifle, and probably something you do not want to do too often. However, I know the Dollar Sportsman did a video on dry firing these IGT pistons. It barely affected the gun in any way. You could see that video here. The cocking effort on this rifle is rated at 32 pounds, which for me is super easy. I personally could cock this hundreds of times without making my arms sore or feeling any sort of fatigue. Speaking of cocking, as far as break barrels go, this one has built-in cocking safety system. The automatic cocking safety system prevents the trigger from accidentally firing the rifle should the trigger be pulled or moved. This prevents the barrel kickback. The trigger that comes with this rifle is Gamo's custom action trigger, which has 2 adjustment screws to help you adjust it to your liking. The listed trigger pull weight is 3.2 pounds. I didn't do any adjusting on the trigger, but I will eventually get around to adjusting it more to my liking. Out of the box, it's definitely usable, and a lot of people will probably never adjust it. But if you do like to tinker, and you upgrade your guns, then check out the video by the Airgun Detective. He has some information on a $10 upgrade on the adjustment screw. You can check out that video here. He says it becomes a match grade trigger. For those of you who are interested in how the safety works, this rifle offers a simple one-finger safety, which is situated right in front of the trigger. It's very easy to activate and effective. The scope that comes with this rifle is a 3x9x40mm. It also includes the scope single mount to give you less moving parts. It does the job, but I would be upgrading this to a little bit higher end Springer rated scope, but if you can afford it, don't get me wrong. This unit will allow you to get by. I put close to 1,000 shots through this rifle, and the scope has not lost zero yet. Just minor elevation adjustments when switching pellet weights. The Gamo Swarm 1300 that I have here is well valued for its price point. You're getting upgraded features over your standard entry-level break barrels with the 10x magazine, the IGT piston. It also includes a 3x9 scope and 1 magazine for around $200 mark in the US and about $350 Canadian. You could easily go to a big box store, buy another somewhat useless Springer option for less, but you won't get the accuracy, the power plant upgrades, or the magazine. You'll end up using that for a while, then upgrading. Trust me, I did the same thing. Save yourself the initial investment in a less expensive unit and consider saving a few extra pennies for this mid-range break barrel. Check out these other videos and be sure to give us a subscribe. If you've made it this far, why not follow us on to the next video? Have a great day. I'm Jason, and see you next time.